Imagine standing before what might be one of the greatest secrets ever kept by Eiichiro Oda throughout the One Piece saga. A detail that seemed simple, even trivial, now reveals itself as one of the keys to understanding not only who Shanks is, but also the true destiny of the world. For more than 2 decades, millions of fans have wondered, how could someone like Shanks, one of the most powerful pirates in the world, who would later become a feared Yonko, lose an arm to a simple sea monster in the East Blue? This doubt echoed across generations of readers and viewers, seen by many as a plot hole, something strange, inconsistent with the grandeur of the character. But Oda never ties a knot without reason, and now we begin to understand that sacrifice had a much greater meaning, linked not only to Luffy's future, but also to Shanks' dark past, his connection with the Sacred Knights, with Imu, and even with Joy Boy. Shanks was always written as an enigma. From his first appearance, smiling and carefree in Fuchsia Village, he conveyed lightness, yet carried an invisible weight. The contrast between his simple attitude and the reverence everyone around him had for him made it clear that there was something greater in his essence. It was impossible to look at the redhead and not realize Oda was hiding something. Every appearance of his throughout the story was carefully constructed, always at decisive moments, always conveying authority, but never revealing the whole truth. Then comes the revelation of his twin brother, Shamrock Figureland, which completely changed our view. We discovered that the Shanks who appeared in Mary Jouise in front of the Gorosei was not the same man we had known since the beginning, but his brother. This revelation added a new layer of complexity, showing that Shanks was not only a descendant of the Figureland family, but also carried a direct link to the world government. This explained his ease in moving through sacred territories, but also raised doubts. After all, which side was Shanks on? The answer came when we understood the sacrifice of his arm. At that moment in the East Blue, Shanks not only saved Luffy, but also made the most important decision of his life, to free himself from the weight of the dark mark he carried. This mark, granted by Imu to the Sacred Knights and their chosen descendants, was a dark bond, a direct connection with the supreme power that governs the world. The detail is that the mark was right on his left arm, the same one he lost to the Sea King. In other words, his loss was not an accident, nor a result of weakness. It was an act of liberation. This detail completely changes the way we see Shanks. He is not just Luffy's mentor, nor merely a powerful Yonko. He is someone who dared to cut his link with absolute power, renouncing a part of himself to embrace freedom. In that gesture, Shanks showed that his faith was not in power, but in the future, in a new generation capable of breaking the chains that bound the world. And here lies Oda's genius. While many thought Shanks inspired Luffy only with gestures of kindness, in fact, he was passing on to the boy a huge responsibility, the duty to carry the dream that he himself could not fulfill. By giving Luffy the straw hat, he did not just give a symbol, but also entrusted him with the legacy of Joy Boy, the same one who decades earlier had failed to free the world. Shanks knew exactly what he was doing when he allowed Luffy to eat the fruit he had so carefully kept. The Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, was not in his hands by chance. He had stolen that fruit from the CP9 because he knew the danger it posed to the world government. This fruit does not choose just anyone. It requires someone with a free heart, someone who can laugh even in the face of danger, someone whose joy is contagious. And in that stubborn, smiling boy, Shanks saw the spark that could reignite Nika's flame. But there was a problem: his link with Imu. Carrying the dark mark, Shanks could never be the chosen one because in essence, he was still connected to the enemy he sought to destroy. So, by losing his arm, he not only saved Luffy, but cut this connection, finally becoming free to support the boy without reservation. And this raises another question. Did Roger know about this? The Pirate King, who had been so close to the true secret of the world, surely knew the importance of Nika and the arrival of a new generation. Roger entrusted Shanks with the mission of guarding that hat and waiting for the right person. Perhaps for this reason, Shanks saw in Luffy what he himself could never be: the true bearer of the flame of freedom. This choice connects Shanks directly to Joy Boy's legacy. Oda has always drawn parallels between these characters. Joy Boy was the one who promised to bring a new dawn and failed. Roger came close to fulfilling this role but also could not. Shanks, with his choice, understood that it would not be him, but that boy who would one day become the captain of the Straw Hats, who would have the chance to complete this mission. It is fascinating to see how every detail of Shanks' journey makes sense in light of this revelation. His late entry into major battles, his posture as an observer, his apparent distance from main events. All of this was part of a larger plan, of someone who knew he was not the protagonist of this story, but the guardian who needed to ensure the Chosen One reached the end. And when we compare Shanks to the other Yonkou, this difference becomes even clearer. Kaido sought supreme strength, believing only the strongest could shape the world. Big Mom dreamed of a reign where her distorted vision of family was absolute. Blackbeard wanted to accumulate power, any power, to impose his will. But Shanks? Shanks never sought to be the strongest, nor to govern, nor to accumulate wealth. His true goal was always to protect the chance for a free future. That's why, at Marineford, when he appeared to end the war, his mere presence silenced everyone. He was not there to fight, but to ensure the world had the chance to breathe. And by saving Luffy once again, he reaffirmed that his role was not to be the war's protagonist, but the guardian of the one who would bring the new dawn. But the weight of this revelation goes far beyond Shanks and Luffy. When we think about the final war against the world government, it is inevitable to imagine that Shanks' past secrets will come to light. His connection to the Figureland family, his twin brother Shamrock, the mark removed along with his arm, all of this will be at stake. And it is possible that, in the decisive moment, Shanks will need to choose again between his life and Luffy's future. And here lies the greatest thrill of this narrative. Shanks is not just a secondary character, nor merely a mentor. He is the bridge between past and future, between Imu's darkness and Nika's light. He is the sacrifice that paved the way for Luffy to be free. Now I want you, watching this until the end, to comment below. Do you believe Shanks still holds more secrets? Do you think he will survive until the end, or will his final act be giving his life to ensure Luffy's victory? I really want to know your opinion because this is one of the biggest discussions in the One Piece community right now. And of course, if you made it this far, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell, because we will still explore much more about the Redhead, about Joy Boy, about Imu, and about the final destiny of One Piece. Shanks did not lose his arm because he was weak. He lost it because he made a choice that forever changed the course of history. A choice that transformed a boy from the East Blue into the future Pirate King.